Hello, a very good evening, wayward sons of Mother Earth and daughters. This time, I don't want to leave you out because you're the worst when you're in that particular mode. And I know all about it, believe me. I've tried to make this video 2 or 3 times earlier, and I get to a point where I realize I might have broken a golden rule. A rule not only that I have for myself, but that has been imputed upon me and that I agree with and intend to follow. So I believe that I have found a solution to that issue. This also forms a kind of conclusion to my last video and the subject matter related to that. Now, when you reach that moment in your life where you're not mucking around anymore and you feel certain, this is obviously spiritually speaking, when you choose a spiritual path and you're 100% immovable, this is what you're doing with your life and nothing's going to stop you. You're seeing this through and you're locked in with the daily practice, morning and evening, and it's very exceptional circumstances that will give you, any excuse to miss or decrease those practice spaces. That's your mission, and you're racked with terrible guilt. Any time that you don't fully 100% fulfill your daily plan. And obviously during the day, one's mind is always, this is life. This is the change that we're going through. This isn't a hobby. This is what we're doing. This is life. So when you're in it, I was going to say that deep, but when it is you, when that's what you're doing, that's who you are. Now, you might already be, your mind might already be open to extraordinary possibilities by the mere fact that you're doing something like this with your life. But my advice to you would be, don't be surprised if a short way into this process, all those things that you've ever done wrong. Now, some of these things that you might have done wrong, there might be reasons. It might be connected to your childhood, psychology, just who you are, where you live, society, other people. It doesn't matter. You've chosen to be extraordinary. So that karmic debt, no matter, what the circumstances, you might find, and this is my advice, I'm just saying, you might find that gets paid off over a short period of, who knows? You just might find that gets paid off. That process is underway in your life, and you're going to go through a period of grief, upset, torment, and you might find yourself paying for things that you haven't even done, or things that you have done that are grossly exaggerated, or the system coming down on you in a way that is unjust and ridiculous, and you might find yourself having to take a lot of punishment. But sooner or later, you'll come through it, and there will be this amazing feeling of space, peace, breath, clarity. And there's still going to be things. Life's always going to be filled with these things that we have to deal with, and the uncertainty, but it'll feel slightly different, like everything's been cleaned out. Because you might say overpaid. And that's what it takes in order to be able to find a place of peace within you. I'm just saying, as advice, be prepared for that. Be prepared for synchronicities, sweet and sour gift. The sour comes before the sweet in this case. I'm beginning to understand all kinds of subtle things, and I'm afraid that there isn't much that I can say. All I can do is give that advice as a possibility. If you enter, a true spiritual path, if that's what you're doing with your life, you might find that you get punished, and you'll come to this realization that it seems to tally perfectly with taking you over the limit in terms of all the upset you might have caused other people, all the things you might have done wrong, all the times you've been dishonest. And let's face it, most of us, we're all right. I've been a bit more, actually, I haven't been my best self at times, and I've always had that propensity towards rebellion. And you see, your weaknesses sometimes, and my teacher has expressed that sometimes these negative traits, they're coming from a good place. Something good is trying to be expressed, but it's been twisted or warped, and there is something true in that. Although when it comes to the more extreme things, there's obviously no excuses. So that's my advice. Be prepared for that possibility in order that you can begin again, not free from the, I just don't, it actually would be better if I don't go into that. Just a sense of balance that comes from a purge. And talking of purging, a couple of nights ago, I had to stay awake for 2 days, and after going through that difficult time, I slept for a little while, and then I just woke up and I was sick, and I couldn't help but see that as something symbolic, and it reminded me there was a feeling, something came back. I found myself uttering a certain name into the night on my own, or the early morning. Definitely at some point in the near future, I'll get together with my friend Samuel Connor, and we will go through all the notes and we will tell the story of what happened when we took ayahuasca. And it's definitely worth telling. I can tell you that there's a lot of meat there, a lot to talk about. And my only regret is that we didn't do it earlier, when we were just filled with that just mind, our minds were blown wide open. And you know, when you go through things like that, you're never quite the same again. So I guess maybe it might even be better this way, actually. A more mature perspective where we can be kind of level-headed about the long-term implications and not get carried away. So that's definitely coming up. But yeah, the point to this video as a conclusion, and just some advice. I'm just raising that as a possibility. It could happen. It could happen.